How you doing? You alright? This is Kurt and welcome back to On the Sideline. Today we are doing part 2 of the What's Gone Wrong at Arsenal video. And in the first part we spoke about Arsenal's current squad. We spoke about how they're playing on the pitch, sort of a lack of quality they have in some areas, where they need to improve. And this is part 2 today. And in a way, part 2, even though obviously on the pitch is where everything happens, what I've sort of dug up for this part is almost worse than what we've gone through in the first part. And I mean, this is off the back of a 1-0 loss at home to Burnley yesterday. It's Monday today, I'm recording this. Xhaka got sent off with a shocking red card, the VAR, grabbed the player by the throat. But yeah, going into this second video, I really want to look at the actual club in terms of not necessarily the board, but in terms of their financial situation, in terms of their contract situation, because I've done a bit of research and looking at their squad, it really looks like Arsenal are in a stage at the moment where their players are not good enough. They've had the same group of players through 3 or 4 managers now, since obviously sort of end of Wenger period. After that, it's just really been the same group of players apart from a few great youth prospects coming through. And these players really are just not good enough anymore. Obviously, there's been forms up and down in this period, but if we look at some of the contracts here, now, these are players that their contracts are expiring at the end of this season, so end of 2021, June 2021, their contracts expire. So, Socrates, we know he's fallen out of favour under Arteta, and he'll be going, he's not playing now, £100,000 per week. He'll be going on a free at the end of the season. I really doubt anyone's going to pay money for him in January. He's 32 years old. He'll go on a free at the end of the season. David Luiz, he's been paying £150,000 a week. He's been playing. I'm not sure if he already signed a new contract or if there is an extension clause within his contract to keep him going for another year. Let's have a look. Nothing on here, but yeah, I think he may have a clause where he can extend for another year. Mesut Ozil. Now, obviously, this is a huge one. Transfer listed. I don't think anyone is going to fork out from him in January because, number one, I don't really know who's going to pay his wages. He's on £350,000 a week. And his contract is finishing in June next year. He's not been playing for a long time now. And he'll be going on a free. So, these are, big players. Okay, Ozil is obviously a bit old, 31 years. But these are quality players that they're not going to receive any money from. Now, this is the thing. Okay, these players are older. Socrates, David Luiz, Ozil, they're coming towards the end of their careers. But it gets worse. It gets much worse. We look at Mustafi, also out of contract, 2021, June. So he'll be going on a free. Mustafi's only 28 years old. I can't... El Neni is finishing, all right, then the year after. But who is really going to sign players like El Neni when they watch Arsenal play at the moment with a real lack of quality? Okay, Maitland-Niles, 2022, he's finishing, but I think Maitland-Niles, I think the youth is really not an issue. They're on low wages and they're looking very promising. And that is Arsenal's catalyst at the moment, is their youth. I think for Arteta to be successful with this team, he needs to push the youth massively. He needs to put faith into the youth, play them, give them time. If they don't work, sell them. And sell them for a good amount of money. Because players like Maitland-Niles, Ketia, Reece Nelson, Joe Willock, they're all English. Saka as well. Saka's playing amazing at the moment, but all these players are English, so you're going to get the English tax on top of it. And all these players could sell for, 30, 40, 50 million because they have a lot of hype. And yeah, they need to get their chance at Arsenal because they're not going to get their chances elsewhere at the moment. And if they perform, keep hold of them, grab onto them with as much force as you can. If not, offload them and get your money for them, invest into the squad with some more quality, because we're looking at players like Lacazette on £180,000 a week at the moment. He's going to be at Arsenal until his contract finishes in 2022. And then he'll be 31. He's going to go on a free. They're not going to get any money back for a player like Lacazette, who at the moment is not playing too well. Kolasinac, the same again. Kolasinac is 27. He's running out at 2022. He's not going to leave between now and then. He's going to go on a free at the end of his contract. And even if they got money for him, they could probably get 5-10 million for Kolasinac. Willian again. Okay, Willian, they sort of brought him in for a short-term solution, so it's not really too much point criticising him for Willian. Bellerin. Okay, Bellerin is a player they can cash in on. He's one of their better players, even though he's not been obviously playing too great this season, but he's only 25. You could get a good 40, 50 mil. There's been links of him and PSG before. That's a player they can offload. But then they're losing a good right back. They need to have, replacements. Okay, 40, 50 million in the bank. That's great. Joe Willock, another young player, good quality. Callum Chambers. You look at a player like Callum Chambers, been at Arsenal for years. He's never broke through. He's just not good enough to be in that team. Offload him now while he's still 25. They could probably get 10, 15 million to either a top championship team or a low sort of like, I know who's on loan at Fulham. Maybe a team like that could pick him up. Rob Holding again. He's been starting quite a bit this season. If he can perform, okay, keep him. But is he good enough? Is he good enough to play? If not, get rid of him. Aubameyang, 31 years of age. Okay, on a contract till 2023, earning I think he just signed a new contract, earning like 250,000 a week. He'll stay there till he's 34. There's no one's going to try and sign him and pay his wages. He's towards the end of his career now. He's not even playing well at the moment enough to sign him. So that's £250,000 a week, and then he leaves. No, remember, from these players, this is only outgoings on their wages. Nothing is going to come in from these players. No income to spend on more quality. And with a team like Arsenal, where they're lacking so much quality at the moment, it is really scary. To be an Arsenal fan, luckily I'm not an Arsenal fan, but to be an Arsenal fan, you're in a scary situation. The situation that the board have put themselves in with these contracts is dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Lucas Torreira, okay, he's on loan. He's 24 years old. Cash in on him. If you're not going to play him, if he's not in the future, cash in on him. Maybe Atletico Madrid will make this permanent, and if so, that's a good. Get rid of him now, get a decent amount of money for him, move him on. Granit Xhaka, okay, 27. We've just seen him get sent off for the weekend. He needs to get out of the Arsenal team ASAP. He's really not good enough to be in that Arsenal team. He's on £100,000 a week till 2023. I think they need to cash in on him, but I don't think anyone's going to come in for Granit Xhaka. I think in the modern football in this day, central midfielders, they need to be able to do everything. They need to be able to get back. They need to be able to go forward. They need to be quality passing. He's not good enough, He's really like a bit of a, I don't know, defensive, but then not amazing at being defensive. Not really amazing going forward. He's just an aggressive sort of player. He's not an awful player. He's a decent squad player, but he's starting every game for Arsenal at the moment, and that's where the issue is. Okay, if he's in the squad player, fair enough, but he's not. He's not. He's an important player in that team. Leno, fine, good goalkeeper. No issues. And then you look at the rest of the team, and there's literally a few more players here. Gabriel's just come in. He looks great. Okay, I've got him on a 5-year deal. Good. If he turns out not to be good, then offload him. Nicolas Pepe, again, 72 million spent on him. 25 years of age on a contract, earning £140,000 a week until 2024. When that contract finishes, he'll be 29. Yes, someone might come in for him, but at the moment in his form, who's going to fork out for him? If they sell him, they're going to make a loss. Thomas Partey again, just signed, 160 grand a week. Okay, he's going to be an important player in these years. I don't think there's anything wrong with that deal. Tierney as well, a newer player, £75,000 a week. Good quality. But this is what I'm saying with this Arsenal team. They need to get rid of a lot of their squad. If I look at their team, I would personally say they need to get rid of Mustafi, El Neni. Obviously, Ozil needs to go. Socrates is going to go on a free. Lacazette, they would like to offload him, but no one's going to buy him, so they don't really have much choice. Bellerin, they're going to have to offload for the money. Rob Holding, Callum Chambers, Xhaka. They've just signed Cedric. Honestly, I guess he can replace Bellerin, but he's not really of a high enough quality, I don't believe, as well. So that's the situation they're stuck in, is that Arsenal are a team at the moment who are desperate to sign new players, to sign quality players, because Arteta, they're already asking for Arteta out, and I can understand that he's made some bad decisions, but I don't think anymore the issue lies with the manager. Of course, the blame will always go to the manager. That's just how football works. It's the manager's job to get results at the end of the day with the squad that he has. But this squad is the root of the problem, mixed with sort of the board making poor decisions. But signings like Pepe, 72 million for him was such a big risk. That money could have gone into 40 million for a centre midfielder and a 35 sort of attacker. They've done a good job with Gabriel for 22 million. That's a good bit of business. But Arsenal are not doing a good bit of business very often, and that's where they're struggling at the moment. They've really been poor in the market. They need to be much more. They need to take a calculated risk on a youngster who's really promising. Do you know what? I've missed someone who I'd like to mention. Martinelli. Now that's a good signing. Martinelli looks to be very, very promising, and he's one for the future. These players, so I think Arteta needs to give a lot more trust in Nketiah, in Reece Nelson, in Martinelli, in all the youngsters they have at the moment. Saka obviously is always getting game time. Push these players, push them to their limits as youngsters. If they perform, perfect. If not, offload them. Take the money, because Arsenal need quality and experience in this team. They've got quality in young players who are not experienced. They've got experience in old players who no longer have quality, and that is a massive issue at the moment. They need to either get rid of these youngsters or keep them and make them worth their money. And the same with these. I mean, they can't do much in this situation with their older players, because all their contracts are either expiring or they're earning so much money they'll be there until they expire, and they're not performing at the moment. So Arsenal are really in a really tough spot at the moment. They need to do something. I don't really know what they can do. Of course, they're going to get some investment, but with this COVID period, it's not looking good for budgets for clubs as well. So they are really going to struggle. All I can say is they need to take some smart calculated risks, some sort of 10, 15, 20 million signings that are going to have to turn out well for them, which they might well not. But that's what they need to do. They really, really need to think about their next signings, whoever they're going to bring in, and they need to offload as soon as possible. If someone comes in with an offer for Xhaka, get rid of him. They need to get rid of these players. I think these players will be there till the contract expires. I don't know who's going to give Xhaka £100,000 a week at a different club, so I don't see why he'd leave. He's getting football, but that's the problem for Arsenal. They're backing poor players. They're giving contracts to players who are not earning them, and they're not doing well in the market. They're not selling well. They're not buying well. And this season, we've seen more than ever the effects of this growing. Lacazette is off form. Aubameyang is off form. Their best players are out of form. They don't have any creative force in the middle. And they need to get, who can they sign to become a creative force? I was thinking about Dani Almo, but he's just gone to Leipzig now. There are not that many options, and they don't have the money to fork out for someone without offloading. So they really need to think about what they're going to do in their future. So that's pretty much everything I'd like to say in terms of the contract situation. It's looking very, very dire for Arsenal at the moment. We spoke about Arteta. We spoke about the squad last episode, and we spoke about what they're doing wrong on the pitch. Obviously, now we've spoken more about the financial side of things, the contracts and their transfer market activity. The only other thing really to talk about, I'd say, is maybe tactics and Arteta, but I really sort of started to feel a bit for Arteta, because he's getting so much stick at the moment. Yes, he's made poor choices, but I think he's a good manager. I think he's got a good foundation of tactics. I think he's putting the players in the right direction. I simply think that the players are letting him down. I think he must have got some good knowledge under Pep Guardiola, and I think that given a few better players in the team, he might be the right man to take the club forward. But I do not think there is one manager on earth right now that can make those players better. I think they need an overhaul, get rid of all the rubbish, if they can even get rid of them, and then replace them with quality players. They've really made poor decisions in the market, and they're paying for those decisions now, and that's what's gone wrong at Arsenal. They are paying for their poor decisions in the transfer market, which has led them to the squad they have now. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought. I tried to make this episode a bit shorter because I feel like I was going on a bit too much in the previous episode. But yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think's gone wrong at Arsenal. Let me know what you think they can do to get out of this problem. And let me know where you think they're going to finish at the end of the season. I think they'll still finish top half. I think they'll finish maybe 9th or 8th. But yeah, I'd like to know what you guys think. A quick update for the channel. We should have a video with myself and Adam talking about the Champions League draw up in the next few days, and we're going to speak about, what we think who's going to win the Champions League, what's going to come out of these draws, who's going to go through, and yeah, just a general discussion about the situation in the Champions League. Might do a separate run on Europa League, or mix the videos together. And also got a couple more Football Manager vids coming for you this week. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and let me know below what you thought. Thank you very much. Have a good day.